Good morning, 5th grade. Today we're going to continue reading Chapter 8. Before we get started, we want you to complete the quick write. What issue or problem is very important to you? How do you feel when you think about this problem? Press pause to write down your answer and play when you're ready for the focus question. How does Marta compare kittens to the workers? How has Esperanza continued to mature throughout her journey? How have her values shifted since the beginning of the novel? So we're going to look at, in the Educanon, we're looking at the first question, how does Marta compare kittens to the workers? And then in our breakout groups, we're going to think about how Esperanza has matured. Our vocabulary for today is meek. That's when you are gentle in nature. So this turtle is being meek or shy, hiding in its shell. A strike is when people stop working in order to get their bosses to meet their demands. So to make their life, easier. Maybe higher pay or more breaks. And then the last one is extravagant. That's when you have so much money that you're just buying things that you don't even really need. Turn to Chapter 8, and we're going to use our CSPS strategy as we are reading the section where Esperanza is at the Jamaica. I think I said it right. Jamaica. All right. The platform was lit up with bright lights. Men from the camp in starched and pressed shirts and cowboy hats sat in chairs tuning their guitars and violins. Long rows of tables were covered in bright tablecloths, where women sold tamales, desserts, and the specialty agua de Jamaica, hibiscus flower water punch made with the red Mexican Jamaica bloom. There was bingo on wooden tables and a long line of chairs circling the dance area for those who wanted to watch. That's where Mama and Hortensia sat, talking with other women. We're going to stop right there. The author has described the setting of the Jamaica, so we can go ahead and collect evidence for box 2. We know it took place at the platform that was lit up with lights. We know everyone was looking really nice, and there was music. There were tables, where women were selling food. And there was also bingo and a dance area. Press pause to write down your answer and select one of these quotes and play when you're ready to keep going. Esperanza stayed close to them, watching the growing crowd. Where do all the people come from? She asked. The other night she had heard Juan say about 200 people lived in their camp, but there were many more than that now. These fiestas are popular. People come from other camps, said Josefina, and from Bakersfield, too. When the music started, everyone crowded around the platform, clapping and singing. People started dancing in the area around the stage. Children ran everywhere, chasing and hiding. Men held young boys on their shoulders, and women swaddled their infants, all of them swaying to the sound of the small band. After a while, Esperanza left Mama and the others and wandered through the noisy crowd, thinking how strange it was that she could be in the middle of so many people and still feel so alone. She saw a small group of girls who seemed about her age, but they were huddled together. More than anything, she wished Marisol were here. I'm going to stop right there at this paragraph and really think about Esperanza and what she's going through. She, feels alone, even at the Jamaica, even though there's a lot of people there, and she misses Marisol. And that lets me know she probably feels alone because she doesn't have any close friends her age. Press pause to write down your answer in box 1 and select one of these quotes for 1B. We're going to keep reading. Isabel found her and pulled on her hand. Esperanza, come and see. Esperanza let herself be led through the crowd. Someone from town had brought a litter of kittens. A group of girls were crowded next to the cardboard box, cooing and cradling them. It was clear that Isabel desperately wanted one. Esperanza whispered to her, "I'll go ask your mother." She wove back through the crowd to find Josefina, and when she agreed, Esperanza practically ran back to the spot to tell Isabel. But when she got there, a bigger crowd had gathered and something else was going on. Okay, that's the author prepping us for the problem. A bigger crowd had gathered and something else was going on. Pay attention for the problem. Marta and some of her friends stood in the bed of a truck that was parked nearby, each of them holding one of the tiny kittens. "This is what we are," she yelled. "Small, meek animals. And that is how they treat us because we don't speak up. If we don't ask for what is rightfully ours, we will never get it. This is how we want to live." She held the kitten by the back of the neck, waving it high in the air. It hung limp in front of the crowd. "With no decent home and at the mercy of those bigger than us, richer than us." Isabel trembled, her eyes in panic. Will she drop it? A man called out, "Maybe all that cat wants to do is feed its family. Maybe it doesn't care what all the other cats are doing." "Senor, does it not bother you that some of your compadres live better than ours?" yelled one of Marta's friends. "We are going to strike in 2 weeks, at the peak of cotton, for higher wages and better housing." "We don't pick cotton on this farm," yelled another man from their camp. "What does it matter?" yelled Marta. "If we all stop working, if all the Mexicans are juntos, together," she made a fist and held it in the air, "then maybe it will help us all." He yelled back, "This is a chance we cannot take. We just want to work. That's why we came here. Get out of our camp." A cheer rose around him. People started shoving, and Esperanza grabbed Isabel's hand and pulled her aside. Okay, we'll stop right there. So what problem has Esperanza encountered? Well, it seems like Marta is stirring up trouble. Marta has, is holding the kittens hostage and using them as a metaphor for how the farm workers are being treated by their bosses. And she's trying to get the crowd to strike, and the crowd does not want to strike. Instead, they want to feed their families. So Marta is trying to convince the crowd to strike, in the middle of the party, and everyone is mad at her because, one, they don't want to strike, and two, she is really ruining the mood of the party. Press pause to write down your answer, and if you're thinking about a quote, you can, we know that other people are angry because they are telling her, get out of the camp. Stop doing what you're doing and get out. All right, press pause to write down your answer and play when you're ready for the solution. A cheer rose around him. People started shoving, and Esperanza grabbed Isabel's hand and pulled her aside. A young man jumped into the truck and started the engine. Marta and the others tossed the kittens into the field. Then they pulled some of their supporters into the back of the truck with them and raised their arms chanting, "Huelga, huelga, strike, strike." All right, so the Marta and her friends left the party, and they drove off in the back of a truck. And then you can use a quote from the end of that paragraph. Press pause to write down your answer and play when you are ready for the paragraph. It says, "How does Marta compare the workers to kittens?" So when you're thinking about that, go back to the part, let's see, to this part where Marta is standing on the truck, and then keep reading. She's talking about the kittens. And you can stop here, and your answer will be in between these two green sections.